Hey everybody, it's Jeff, and this is the Indie Game Legend 3D Development Log Update 4. This week, I came back from a week off, though during that week I did about 5 playtests and learned a lot. So most of this week was implementing fixes to problems found during playtesting. This would all be put to the test on Thursday, where I took the game to show at a local indie game meetup. Monday, I compiled all the notes from playtesting and came up with 30 smallish items to work on. I actually got through 20 of them, which is probably the most I've done in a single day so far. It's hard to show a lot of them, and it would be boring to say them all, so here's a list. I also had a short list of larger issues to tackle, some of which I did experiment with last week. The big one was respawning. So far, you clear the rooms of enemies and crates, and then you have a bunch of empty rooms. But the way the game was designed is more like a Metroidvania, where most of the rooms will have the same enemies in them when you return, even if you killed them. This isn't as trivial as it sounds, and even though I found a workable solution, it was just going to be a bit of work getting it integrated, but I made a little progress on it at the end of the day. Tuesday, I finished the list, while also taking some detours with Paul's feedback. For example, we have this room full of bomb blocks and decided to make it dark and then make the explosions light up the room. I also replaced all the room walls with the new tile walls I made before. It's all boring panels for the moment, but now each room is ready to be customized. There was also a lot of activity in chat, and I think that's what got me on replacing our crate model. Once again, it was quite fun to be collaboratively modeling in real time with Paul and others in chat. Wednesday, I started out thinking I would quickly build the solid block and bomb block equivalents of the crate model I did Tuesday. The solid block was pretty quick, but the bomb block was tricky. The top-down tile from the original looked like it had a dark glass top with a blinking red light inside. My original version of it was a poor interpretation of that, because getting the transparency right was hard in 3D. But Wednesday, I took another stab at it, and it took a while, but I think it was worth it. It almost looks better than I thought it could. Playing the game with these new models makes it almost feel like a different game. I also finished figuring out some of the quirks with respawning, and made everything respawn on room enter like they're supposed to. The game was finally coming together. Thursday was a day of last-minute bug fixes before taking the game to show at Juegos Rancheros that night.
No! God! Something has gone wrong!
There were 2 big bugs, one involving the respawners that I had just done, and one involving the bomb blocks in the dark that we did. The respawner bug was straightforward to fix, though I probably shouldn't have waited to solve it last. What took a lot of the day was an issue with bomb blocks in the dark, which was a couple of problems in one. Even after rewriting a large part of the code to try and fix it, the problem persisted. It wasn't until somebody in chat suggested a simple solution that ended up working perfectly. So, thanks, Ryasar. Juegos went well, and most of the night somebody was playing the game. Everybody seemed to enjoy it, and way more people played through the entire sector than I expected. So Friday I decided to take a breather and use the day to organize the game assets in preparation for more content. It was satisfying to get everything organized and remove unused assets. Thankfully, Unity is magic when it comes to this, and all references were maintained, so the game continued to work even after moving or renaming nearly every asset. Next week, I'm going to be tackling game saves and dynamically loading scenes. Each sector will live in a separate Unity scene. This way we can have just one sector loaded at a time, 2 during transitions, and game saves will be a must as the game gets more content to explore, which hopefully I'll be getting a whole new sector in next week as well. So, join me on Twitch next week as I continue to develop the Indie Game Legend 3D.
Oh, there's a heart there and I didn't get it! I got stuck on the thing!